Hello, this is your hillbilly historian from the hills of East Tennessee and Appalachia. Today I'm going to talk about a little bit about this lawfare crap. The Democrats have always loved to utilize lawfare to destroy their enemies, especially people who prove that their agenda is all wrong. The Democrat Party is embedded with Marxists. It has been ever since before the 20th century. Even in the 19th century, there were Marxists dedicated to Karl Marx and Frederick Engels embedded in our liberal, left-wing Democrat Party government. Take, for instance, Woodrow Wilson. He was a socialist, a communist, one of these university Marxists, and he appointed Cordell Hull Secretary of State, and Cordell Hull is the one who gave us Karl Marx and Frederick Engels' graduated income tax. The Supreme Court ruled the income tax illegal 3 times. Lincoln tried to pass it twice, and they ruled it unconstitutional both times. Another Republican tried again. It was ruled unconstitutional. So the international banking cartels got together on Jekyll Island back in 1913, and they plotted a plan to which to steal the American wealth. And to do that, they had to have an income tax, because the income tax would suck the wealth up, turn it into the government, and then they had to have a way for the government to turn this money over to the banking cartels, led by the Rothschilds and the J.P. Morgans and people like that. Well, they passed that 16th Amendment permitting an income tax. They lied to the American people. You know, you'll never have to pay an income tax unless your salary is $4,000 a year or more. That was back when the average salary was about $1,000 a year and $1,200 a year. And so, as government does, it lied to the people and got that income tax passed, and at the same time they created the Federal Reserve, which is not federal and it's not a reserve. It is an organization for the purpose of stealing the American wealth through the newly statutorily justified income tax, and that way the Federal Reserve could take that wealth and turn it over to the banks. And that is exactly what they started doing. Well, from the theft of all this wealth, it created a depression, which the school books don't tell you about. Woodrow Wilson and Cordell Hull's income tax created depression in 1917, 1918. The boys came home from World War I. There wasn't any economy. There wasn't no jobs. Nothing. It was as bad as 1929 and 30 and 31. All because of sucking the wealth out of the American people, out of the economy. Well, in 1920, Warren G. Harding was elected, and he put together probably the greatest cabinet in the history of the United States. And the Secretary of the Treasury that he appointed was Andrew Mellon. Now, Harding died after about a year in office, and Calvin Coolidge took over. And his saying was, get Get government out of the business. Leave business to business. Leave business alone. And the business of business is business. And Andrew Mellon cut income tax to the bone, and the economy took off like a rocket. And it did real well. Probably the greatest economic growth in American history. People were, shoe shine boys were investing in the stock market and getting rich overnight. It was an amazing economy. Till Herbert Hoover was elected and started interfering with the economy again, and that created the stock market crash of 1929. But anyway, Andrew Mellon cut taxes to the bone, and the Marxists, the leftists in government, the Democrat Party, hated him for it. Absolutely hated him. And when the stock market crashed and the Democrats got elected, Franklin Roosevelt campaigned on the promise that he would get government out of the economy. That he would remove government from the economy and allow the economy to grow again. Well, he was lying, like Marxists and Democrats always do. And he got elected because they wanted government, because the people wanted government out of the economy. Because they looked upon the government as evil. And, of course, FDR had lied. And as soon as he was sworn in 1933, they went after Andrew Mellon with everything they had, all the lawfare that they could muster. They charged him with crimes that didn't even exist, like they're doing Trump today. But they used government to go after Andrew Mellon, and he fought them, went to court, and was found not guilty on every charge they charged him with. So Andrew Mellon was a great American hero. He showed us that cutting taxes stimulates the economy and helps the economy, that this evil income tax sucks the wealth right out of the economy and makes Americans much poorer. And regrettably, we let them get away with it. Our elected representatives, when they get to Washington, they just won't do anything about it. They promise to, but they never do. But anyway, this lawfare thing, look at what Bill Clinton did. The Christian Coalition under Ralph Reed came about in the 1980s, and this Christian Coalition was publishing truth and honesty about how our congressmen and senators voted, and they didn't like that being made public. Neither party liked it. We were getting a uniparty about this time, and the uniparty hated it. So Bill Clinton took the IRS and the DOJ and all of them. They went after Ralph Reed with everything they had, and basically brought the Christian Coalition to its knees and brought it to a halt. And thank God Ralph Reed's still on his feet, still going, and has become a strong Trump supporter. But his Christian Coalition, which was a powerful instrument in informing people how your congressmen and senators voted on every issue. I remember getting their notifications in the mail every month telling us how everybody voted. And people were getting upset with their congressmen and senators because they had no way of knowing this before, because the media won't tell you anything. Even your local newspapers won't inform you on how anybody votes, except what the congressmen and senators and the state representatives and state senators, how they inform the local newspapers with handouts to tell the people how they voted on stuff. And it's fake. It's like here in Tennessee, we have these Republicans that have taken over, but a lot of our Republicans are rhinos, like Ken Yeager in the 12th Central District in Tennessee. He's a Marxist socialist, pro-government, pro-big government, and he lies for our votes, and then he votes socialist. And there was a big article in the Nashville Tennessean about this fake organization that these rhinos have created in Nashville to present awards, fake conservative awards, a fake conservative organization presenting fake conservative awards to fake conservatives or rhinos. And it's just amazing how the American public is being fooled and lied to and propagandized by all of our political people, especially people like Ken Yeager, Dennis Powers, people like that. And it's going on in Washington, D.C. And then look what Obama did to the Tea Party. He used the IRS and the DOJ and all these people to go after the Tea Party. And the media propagandized, they're owned by the government. They came out against Sarah Palin, Tea Party, anything they could find negative on Sarah Palin they'd come out with. And then some of our people destroyed the Tea Party at the local level because people like Bill Claiborne, who grew up in Campbell County, but his wife refuses to live here, so he lives in Knox County or Anderson, somewhere, but he don't live in Campbell County. But he came to Campbell County with the help of Dennis Powers, who is a notorious backstabber, who's interested only in his own promotions. And him and Bill Claiborne came to Campbell County, held a Tea Party meeting, never held another meeting. Neither one of them was elected to anything. And there was Bill Claiborne in Nashville representing himself as the chairman of the Campbell County Tea Party. And when confronted about it, he'd get all upset and tell lie after lie after lie, him and Dennis Powers both. So they stole the Campbell County Tea Party for their own self-aggrandizement and promoting themselves as he was down there in Nashville at a state Tea Party meeting presenting himself as a big honcho from Campbell County. These people, they'll lie, cheat, and that helped Obama bring down the Tea Party. Well, now we have Trump and we have the MAGA, Make America Great Again movement. And they're using lawfare to go after Trump. They think if they can destroy Trump, they can destroy MAGA. But I'm going to tell you something. The American people are waking up. Slowly but surely, they are waking up. I remember when Ron Paul, the father of Rand Paul, who's a senator from Kentucky, Ron Paul was a congressman out of Houston, one of the Houston districts, Houston, Texas. He was the only man in D.C. telling it like it was. He was telling the truth to American people, how we were getting ripped off and lied to and bumfuzzled and stolen from and by the Uniparty, the left-wing rhino Republicans and the Democrats, and it was just absolutely amazing. Ron Paul was the only one. Now we got several. We got Gates from Florida. We got Tim Burchett from East Tennessee. We got that wonderful, wonderful woman, Marjorie Taylor Greene from Dalton, Georgia. In fact, Marjorie Taylor Greene comes from a district. Newt Gingrich came out of that area. before Duke, there was Larry McDonald, one of the greatest American anti-communists that had ever been elected to D.C. In fact, Larry McDonald was on KOA, Korean flight, KOA 007, flying from South Korea down the Pacific Asian coastline, out in the Pacific Ocean on their way down toward Singapore, Philippines, that area. And Russia sent fighter pilots out to destroy that plane and get rid of Larry McDonald. And they did it successfully. They claimed that plane was in their district, but they murdered everybody on that plane, shot them down. That's why Reagan referred to them as the evil empire, and helped bring communism to its knees eventually. But yeah, anything to destroy a conservative, an anti-Marxist, anti-communist, and believe me, folks, we got a lot of anti-American Marxists and communists in our government, and they are being funded by radical United Nations and George Soros, people like George Soros, who was a Nazi in Hungary and was a guard at a labor camp. He was one of the most evil men on the planet, and he still is. And that goes to show that Nazism is real close to communism. Even though they hated each other and still do, they're still real close. They both want to take liberty and freedom away from the common man and reduce the common man to peasantry, where he lives in a mud hut with a thatched roof and a dirt floor. That's where they want the common hard-working man to be. But lawfare has got to be stopped. We've got to get conservatives in government, and we need to strengthen our Constitution against these Marxist and Democrat Party idiots, anti-Israel killers and murderers and evil people, robbery, thievery, going crazy in our cities, murder. Our Democrat-run cities are out of control. The states run by Democrats are out of control because Marxists do not want law and order. They do not want societal order. They want chaos and madness and evil. And they have got their foot in the door in most institutions, and they will use those institutions against the American people, just like they're trying to do with Trump, and they're trying to destroy the MAGA movement. But I have hope in the American people, because I see more people who are awake today and getting elected, and more Americans getting awake and electing more people who are aware of how evil our government has become because of it being embedded by so many Marxist and anti-American Democrat Party members. And it has been proven with a diary of Joe Biden's daughter that she was sexually abused in the shower at the age of 8, when Joe Biden would climb in the shower with her when she was trying to take a shower. He'd get undressed, climb in the shower with her. These are evil people. They have no morals, no ethics, nothing. They're just purely evil. And look at the Biden crime family, how much money they've stolen out of our treasury by piping it through foreign aid and back into their own pockets. This foolishness has to be stopped. We need people like Andrew Mellon, people like Ralph Reed, people like Donald Trump, people like Gates, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Tim Burchett, people like that, to lead us out of this horror that's happening to our wonderful nation. But anyway, this is the end of this lesson, and this is your hillbilly historian telling it like it is from the hills of East Tennessee in Appalachia.